Well, now I have the absolute pleasure of introducing someone who, like David Limbrick earlier today, needs no introduction. But again, I have to give her one because that's kind of my job. I had the pleasure of watching an interview with Krystle Mitchell and Matt Wong on Discernible, where Krystle Mitchell absolutely stunned all of us by being the first that I'm aware of to do what was so desperately needed. And that was, as a serving, successful member of Victoria Police in good standing, to choose to stand down because her conscience would not allow her to continue to participate in what Victoria Police had become. It was an incredible moment, and I cannot overstate the impact that that had psychologically on so many Victorians, and then the flow-on effect of that practically as we saw that play out in coming months. And eventually, we reached the point where it was Victoria Police who stood up to the government and said, you know what, we're done with all the violence, it's time to put away the tear gas. I don't believe that day would have come were it not for what Krystle Mitchell started. She wasn't the only one, but she was the first domino, and things went from there. So we already owe Krystle Mitchell an enormous round of applause just for what she's already done. But let's talk about what she's now doing. She's put her hand up to be the #2 Senate candidate representing Victoria for the Federal Senate. Now, running in politics is a pretty thankless job. It invites attacks from every single direction. Running as a #2 Senate candidate, where there really is no guarantee that you're going to get that seat, it can be unrewarding. But you need a special kind of person that's willing to pay that price, cop the attacks, all the unwanted attention, in order to stand up and give their #1 Senate candidate a better chance. But you know what? I have a sneaking suspicion that Krystle Mitchell has more chance of getting into the Senate than she realizes. I think she thinks she's there to support David Limbrick. I think there's a lot of voters in Victoria that have other ideas. So my warning to you, Krystle, would be careful what you wish for. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please put your hands together for the one and only Krystle Mitchell.
Thank you, Topher. That was a very incredible introduction, and I don't know that I can live up to that. Firstly, I just wanted to say to everybody that is here, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come and support the Liberal Democrats, to enjoy some great music, some fantastic community, and really just what should be a normal, beautiful Saturday with plenty of smiling faces and not a mask in sight, so well done. So you probably already know my background now, and I would like to dedicate this speech to the emergency service and healthcare workers who continue to work the front line at the height of fear and limited information about the pandemic in 2020. While the rest of the world either hid or were forced to hide by their governments, and while we tried to understand and deal with COVID-19, they were marked as the heroes of the pandemic to the people and by the media. When our government committed billions of your taxpayer dollars and the future tax dollars of your children to their panacea, the vaccine, many of those frontline workers, just like you, used their constitutional right to informed consent and made a considered personal choice for bodily autonomy. As a result, they were no longer valued or seen as heroes. They were expendable. It cost them their jobs. I'm tipping that this story is not dissimilar to many of you who stood up. They had forged their careers as nurses, police, firefighters, paramedics and teachers. Many dedicating their lives to that calling, but that counted for nothing. As one firefighter said to me, why was I allowed to put myself in danger for the community for 18 months during a pandemic and 25 years prior to that, and then cast aside by my government and large parts of the community? I am forbidden from doing any work to support my family or pay my bills in the name of science and health. A police officer said to me, policing is meant to be evidence-based and its purpose is to protect all people. It breaks my heart that these values of the police force have now changed to where that no longer seems to be the case. There are thousands of stories of hero to zero, and every single one of them deserved better. COVID-19 has impacted every one of us over the last 2 years. But has it? Was it really the virus that made you lose your job or your house? That kept you from seeing your family and friends? That made you cancel your wedding or not be allowed to farewell a loved one? Or was it the government's response to COVID? The massive overreach of the Andrews government with his draconian rules? The Morrison government watching idly by from Canberra, offering little more than platitudes as state premiers governed by fear and intimidation? I believe blame lays not with the virus but squarely at the feet of those voted in by the people with the expectation that they would make the decisions that were in the best interests of us all. We put them in power, one way or another. If not by choice, then by donkey votes, single issue causes, lack of understanding of politics, or simply through political apathy. We stopped having conversations with our friends and our family about what is important and what we expect from our government. We followed that old saying, you don't talk about religion or politics. And that only served to benefit the two major parties. Like it or not, we voted them in. But we can vote them out. The government's response to COVID has also shown us just how little control we have over our daily lives and just how much we have let the government take it away. As much as you have all shown bravery in standing up to the tyrannical state and federal leaders in this fight, you must also show the same bravery in talking politics with the people in your life. The Lib Dems understood the need for less government and greater accountability long before COVID came to our shores. I stand with the Lib Dems to usher in a new kind of politics, one that is connected to the community, is from the community, and above all else stands with the community for what is right, fair, balanced and free. The Lib Dems have been fighting for your freedoms long before many even new freedoms needed to be fought for. We need you to rally your friends, your family, your workmates and anyone else you can get on board. We all need to take a role on in this fight and we need you to fight with us because it is you, the people, that control the future of this nation. And that future is with the Lib Dems. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Krystle Mitchell.